Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. We've got Jake, and Jake, it's a special time. That's why we're all smiling. International season is here. It's obviously the start of your international season. It's the end of our international season. Let's take bias aside. You love the Six Nations. I love the Rugby Championship, but I kind of look forward to this the most when it comes to the year. Just that festive season in South Africa, seeing the South go up against the North, the rivalries that we have with the South, the rivalries that you have up against the North, and then kind of everyone just clashing together, the North versus the South rivalries. It's just absolutely unmatched. Brother, how are you doing? How are you feeling heading into international rugby?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it is really exciting because it's obviously you see all these teams play throughout the summer in the Rugby Championship, and you just always wonder how you go up against them. And unlike the Six Nations, you do actually get to see all these teams. Well, as a Northern Hemisphere fan, all these teams play in your home stadium, so you kind of feel like, right, this should be it. We should be able to get the advantage over them. So yeah, I'm really pumped for this. Obviously, I'm missing my Prem Rugby already. I love the Prem Rugby and all the URC and stuff, but I've been more excited for this window of international rugby than I have actually the last couple of years, or 3 years, whatever. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah. So people, obviously, as we mentioned, we're going to talk about the international rugby, focusing on 4 games. We've got England taking on the Wallabies. We've got Ireland versus New Zealand, massive one there. South Africa versus Japan, Scotland versus USA. And then we'll just quickly run through the Barbarians team as well that got announced today. Obviously, this video is only going out tomorrow morning, but it's exciting time. So people, if you do like talking a bit of shit when it comes to rugby, Tiernan might be joining us. Let's send him the link. Tiernan will be joining us. We have to get Tiernan on because it's his biggest game of the year. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. He couldn't miss the build-up to his biggest game of the year. Tiernan, how are we doing leading up into this weekend?
Pretty good, yeah. I'm not exactly excited for it after what happened with Leinster versus Munster the other week. I don't know how they're going to pull through it, but to be honest, they'll find a way. Ireland versus New Zealand, it's always a big game, especially in Chicago where they won for the first time. There's going to be a lot of Irish fans there. It's going to basically be a home game, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, don't know how I feel.
Yeah, we'll get to Ireland versus New Zealand in a second. I kind of want to touch on the first game of the weekend. Jake, it's your talking time. We've got England versus the Wallabies, rematch of what could be considered the rebirth of the Wallabies team last season. Obviously, Max Jorgensen going in there in the corner, absolutely brilliant. I do enjoy watching that highlights once again because Jake was so cocky on the WhatsApp group last year this time. Them having like a 20-point lead, thinking they're cruising, right? This Wallabies renewal was a joke to Jake, and he got humbled literally like 20 minutes later. Jake, are you feeling comfortable or confident this time around after watching what the Wallabies have done this year?
Is it bad if I say I'm more confident this time around than I am last?
How does that make sense?
Because Australia are missing so many players. So I can't see a world where we lose to them. I can't see a world. I mean, the amount of players that aren't released because of club level, you get like, I don't know, Tom Hooper, Ikitau, James O'Connor, Skelton. And then they got injuries, obviously Tom Wright, McDermott, Alatoa, and they had Lucan Salakai Lotto got head knock, Josh Canham, so they're really light in locks. I can't see them up against that England team winning. I can't.
Yeah, well, Darcy Swain's back. You might lose an ACL.
Oh, wow. I'm worried now.
So the way that I'm looking at this game, and to some extent, I do agree with you that I would maybe feel a bit more comfortable if I was England. And that's not taking away from the Wallabies, because I seriously believe that the Wallabies have been one of the most impressive teams in the past, let's say, 12 months, right? I think that would be a fair assessment. But as you mentioned with the injuries, and also because we had this discussion with our previous episode earlier this week, just kind of the structure and the positive build-up that the English team has had over the past, let's say, 18 months, even under Borthwick. Like, I've been a massive critic of him, but he's kind of switched things up, and it's looked so much better. Getting young guys in there, the play style has been looking better. Some guys look like they're fighting for the jersey. A lot of guys feel like they're in form going into this international season. It makes it an exciting time for the English team. Now, I know, Tiernan, you aren't the biggest fan of England, but do you reckon English rugby is in a good spot at the moment?
I think so, yeah. Especially a lot of exciting young players. But like they're kind of a team that should never be bad, considering you have a whole league back in the team, you have a huge fan base, the biggest player pool in the world. So I don't understand how England are ever bad, but they are shit, and they will get beaten by Ireland again this year. I'm just waiting for that. But
yeah, no one's talking about England Ireland. We're talking about England Australia here, Tim.
Yeah, you'll probably beat Australia, but only because they're missing so many players. And what?
So if
I say that now,
if this was full strength Australia, does Australia win?
Sorry.
If this was full strength Australia, do Australia win this game?
Yeah. Well, I put it at 50-50 if it was full strength Australia, but I can't see them.
What about full strength England? Fucking missing most of our players in France. Anyway, let's go down to the actual squad name, because England announced theirs early, and you two are outsiders. It's like casual. What would
before
you
say? Before you do that, are you a fan of the Tuesday announcements? This new thing that you guys have kind of, if you can't beat them, join them, right? That's the mindset that Borthwick has followed with this one.
I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like you can't really change your team too much. If you're a coach, I think you know how the team's going to play regardless of who they pick generally, and it's not going to give that much of an advantage. I think the quality in this English squad should be able to get them over the line either way, so I'm not too fussed, really.
Okay, fair enough. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the team. Who's the standout players for you? Let's say from us as an outside perspective, who's the guys that we should keep an eye on?
That's an interesting one, really. But what do you? I want to. We'll get into that in a second. But what stands out to you first of all when you see this squad, and from what you would have predicted as a sort of someone watching from the distance at England?
So I'm really impressed by the strength in depth in terms of the bench. But on the other hand, I'm just like, okay, well, there's a lot of guys that would have probably started that's just playing on the bench. That's what the people always say. Look at the Bok team when you look at that strong bench. I'm like, well, fucking yeah, because most of them usually start. So stuff like that. But I do like this thing where some of the youngsters are coming through. I'm really excited to see Guy Pepper. I mentioned this before. I've heard a lot about him. Obviously, I can't watch him week to week. We don't get the broadcast for the Premiership, but that just tells you kind of how his name has been running around, the talent that he is, the fact that we here in South Africa has heard about him, know how good he is.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see how he is. I'm really excited to see Murray Torje again. I feel like his game has stepped up the past 24 months, especially in that England jersey. Kind of since he got that captaincy, feels like he's just taken that role and responsibility to a new level. George Ford getting another run. I mean, we've been massive critics of him. The talent that he has. We've all seen the talent, but he's been kind of that guy. He's always in and around the squad. And he's the vice captain, but he gets so much criticism, and he's on the form of his life, right? Like you've spoke about this multiple times. So those are kind of the three guys that I'm really keeping my eye on. Obviously, the easy one would be Tommy Freeman on outside center, but those are the three names that stand out for me that I think needs to have a big game, especially Ford. Now that Farrell's back, he's not in the squad, obviously, but Finn Smith is there, Marcus Smith is there. Marcus Smith playing like he's proving a point in the Harlequins jersey. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, definitely. I think, Guy Pepper, your own sort of South African coach, Johan van Graan, said as the Bath coach where Pepper plays that he's in the style of Richie McCaw. He's that sort of player. He's a young leader and he sort of does a bit of everything. And, it's a bit an outlandish claim, you might think, but man, he's got his all-round game. His carrying, his tackles is just really, really solid. He's a good jackler. So, and he's also a line-out option, which is probably helps him get start at 6 here.
Is it really an outlandish claim, though?
Well, no.
Because the thing is, obviously the guy isn't Richie McCaw, but to say someone plays like a Richie McCaw, it's the same thing as when people say Sasha plays like Dan Carter. Obviously, he hasn't got that experience or anything, but to say someone plays like it or reminds you of the way that they play, why do people hate when other people say it? Like, they obviously molded their game probably around that. It's not a harsh statement to make. Anyway, go on.
No, yeah, I completely agree. And and then Ford, I feel like people are always talking about, who's first choice, 10, Ford or Smith or the other Smith. I mean, I think you'd think of it more like South Africans do, where it's just like there's no clear first choice at the minute. And right now we're just blessed that we can have anyone can come in and should be able to do a great job. Of course, Pollard and Sasha, they're very different stylistically, but they can both come in and play that sort of leading role, running attacks and leading the whole back line. So, yeah, it's good that we've got Ford and Finn Smith. I'd imagine, Finn Smith's going to be one who probably finishes the game. He's on the bench. So I think Ford will be there for game managing against Australia. I think the key thing in this squad is we have Freeman, Roebuck, Feo-Boso, Stewart, and those are some very big people. So going up against Australia, I'd imagine this is going to be quite a few high balls stuck up in the air.
Are you surprised there's no Ollie Lawrence, or do you think Fraser Dingwall deserves a run in that 12?
I love Dingwall, and I would expect maybe a Dingwall Lawrence or a Jomo Lawrence. It's really interesting. I would have thought if Dingwall came in, he'd be playing alongside Finn Smith, especially because Freeman's at 13, because that'd be all Northampton from 9 to 13. But yeah, he's gone for Ford, Dingwall, Freeman. So still a Northampton centre partnership. It's going to be good. Dingwall's a really good distributor, which Stewart at fullback isn't. Whereas if you had Marcus Smith or Furbank, you kind of have a distributor there. So I think that's why Dingwall's going to be in there. But yeah, I think you've got a lot of big ball carriers here with Roebuck, Freeman and Stewart. Like, if they're on Dingwall's shoulder and someone commits, they're going straight through and they're making a ton of meters. So I think that's probably some of the thinking behind it. Also, Freeman matches up better with Suoliti than Ollie Lawrence. So I think that's also going to come into play.
Well, I think a large part of the Lions chat was who's going to play inside centre between Bundi, Tuipolatu and Ollie Lawrence. Obviously, with Ollie Lawrence being out for so long, I thought maybe this would be just the perfect time to get some minutes in his legs again. In that England jersey. Tiernan, what's your thoughts on that? Because when you look at Ollie Lawrence, he's kind of the clear-cut guy that will be in the centre pairing. He's one of the best in the world. Like, he's an absolutely sensational player. When you've got a guy, now obviously you can kind of relate this to an Irish setup, right? Like, let's say Bundy was out for a long time. Do you reckon when he comes back from injury, you give him a go straight away, or do you just say the guys that were in his spots, that were doing the job, they just continue and he's got to fight for that jersey once again?
I definitely put him on the bench at least. I'm surprised with the bench England have gone here a 6-2. Like, I'm surprised. Like, why not just Ollie Lawrence is one of the best centres in the world? Why not just get him in on the bench and then he'll be ready for who are you playing next?
Fiji.
Do you have any other tough games? Like, are you playing New Zealand or something?
New Zealand. Fiji, New Zealand, Argentina in that order.
Yeah, so you
to
want
bring
him
him back against Fiji would be tough physically.
But would it be so tough tactically, is all I'll say, because, sorry to interrupt your team, but like Paisami, even though it's the Ikitau, but Paisami and Suali are quite a good centre partnership, whereas Dingwall's probably the best centre in England with the tactical and sort of going to the line and setting up someone else. So maybe that's why Dingwall's come in, and then Freeman with that connection and more aerial height.
What did you say there, Tiernan?
I'm just like, when you have Ollie Lawrence, I'm guessing he's fit if you're talking about it being in the squad. Like, why would you put a winger in centre? Like, Finn Smith rarely plays centre for Northampton. Does he even play there at all?
No, Finn Smith will come in for Fordo, I think. I think Ben Earl or Pollock will be covering centre if Freeman or Dingwall get injured.
Yeah. I
think that's how it's going to work. Because Ben Earl, they've tried Ben Earl at centre before, off the bench.
It's for me, it's just this situation where if I had to relate it to the Springboks, Andre Esterhuizen is a phenomenal player. Right? I absolutely love and adore Andre Esterhuizen. But if Damian De Linde was out for a while, he's clear cut the best inside centre, in my opinion. So when he comes back, I want him to be ready and firing for our biggest games. And you expect him to jump right back into action and perform. And it's the same, it's in the same WhatsApp group as Ollie Lawrence, where I feel he's the clear cut best center. Get him right in there. If he struggles, obviously, then you can take him off. So I like this thing more where a guy comes back from injury and he starts the game so that if you know, okay, he's not ready at the races, you can take him off and replace him by, for instance, Dingwall or something like that. But that's obviously just personal preference. Now, moving over to the Australian setup, obviously we haven't seen the squad. I don't think it's getting announced tonight or anything like that. What could be our expectations, even though they've got all these injuries going into this game? Do you think it could be a possibility for them, for a couple of other guys to maybe put up their hand and give it a shout to maybe impress not just Joe Schmidt but Les Kies before he takes over from next season?
This is going to be, I think it's really tough for Australia, whoever played. Like, you've got Tane Edmed trying to run a sort of game managing thing against George Ford.
I think they're going to struggle just the amount of tactically good players they have in that England squad. Like, when you're Australia, who's normally such a free flow and attacking team, when you have players like George Ford and Fraser Dingwall in there, like, it's going to be tough for them, I think, because they're just going to be so structured in their defense. So I think this is really like the biggest weakness for his Australia team is this same thing.
Okay, so Jake, your official prediction for this round. What are you going with? Obviously backing your team. How much are you going to back them by?
I'm going to go like 35 points to 15. Like, I really do think, just purely because of the players missing, because they can't get out of their clubs or because of injuries, Australia, they're not going to be in this one. I think there's at least...
So by 20?
10, yeah, it's at least 10 starting players out. So yeah, I'm going to go about 20-point gap.
Tiernan, you matching that? You thinking somebody a bit closer? What's going on?
I'm going to think I say England by about 10. I just think, this England team, they've picked a good, especially considering the players Australia missed, they've picked a really good side to go out there and beat them and just not let them in the game. So yeah, I don't think it'll be a massive win, but I'm going to say by at least 10 points, England.
This could easily be like the Rugby Championship games where England has a bit of a lead and then Australia just kind of, not to take a bit of the punch away of the defeat, maybe score a try or two at the end to make it like a 10-point game or something like that. Australian second halves. It's just...
Yeah, they do that a lot, which is why they've got 6 Lions on the bench for England. Like, this is the Lions' pride here. Like, I don't know. I can't see them doing it this time.
Fair enough. Let's go into the game of the weekend. And this is where Tiernan gets to chat his shit. Is this redemption or not to redemption? You've got Ireland taking on New Zealand. Kind of both teams going with a lot of ups and downs into this one. There's a lot of criticism around the All Blacks playing style and some of their results. And there's obviously criticism around Ireland and their results under who took the reign when Andy Farrell was gone. Whatever. Yeah. So there's a lot of criticism around that. And then obviously with Leinster not really being in form. Tiernan, what's your initial thoughts just running through your mind at the moment, building up into this massive anticipated game?
I think people are really underestimating what Ireland are going to bring to this game because my comp's just filled with these All Blacks brain dead people like saying that they're going to win by 20 points and stuff. Like, so first of all, in the Six Nations, yes, they underperformed by Ireland standards. They still won 4 out of 5 games. They took a bad loss to France. But the team who took a worse loss than that was the All Blacks against Africa at home. So I don't understand where this confidence come from the All Blacks' end. Like, they didn't have a good rugby championship at all. 4 out of 6 wins. So yeah, I don't get where this confidence is coming from. And I think now that Ireland have have Andy Farrell back. Simon Eastby, I don't think was a great coach for them. I think they're going to perform way better. Like
Well, there's
Leinster's
two
achieved.
factors.
Hmm? Yeah.
There's two
Go on.
factors that I think plays into the hands of the All Blacks. Obviously, they're coming off a rugby championship, but I think the USA game will feel like a home game for them. I think they'll have more support there.
You think?
And then,
Chicago.
just my opinion. And then, secondly, remember the reason that I'm saying this, and I spoke to Jake about it. Like the All Blacks are kind of this world team where everyone knows how good the All Blacks have always been. When America knows they're going to watch a rugby game, they want to watch the All Blacks, who has all the history in terms of rugby, the greatest team to play the game. So I think that will feel like a home game for them. And then secondly, and this is a massive factor. Now, obviously, this is focused on Leinster, but there's so many Leinster players in that Irish team. The big boys haven't really played any games.
Yeah.
James Lowe's played like 2 games. Jameson Gibson Park, like 1 or 2 games. Dan Sheehan hasn't played, right? Kalen Doris hasn't played. There's a lot of those Leinster guys. And this is the thing that bites Leinster in the arse. Now they're going to play against the All Blacks, who's probably very ready for this game. And they've hardly had any game time. No franchise rugby, nothing going into a rivalry clash. We saw this last year. Like it felt like that Irish team was cold when you guys met at the Aviva. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, definitely. And it's something I've been worried about since the game got announced. Like, they're not going to have much game time going into this because obviously they had the Lions. Ireland haven't played together since March, right? And the All Blacks played together, like 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, that's definitely going to be something that, like, unless...
And you haven't played well together since last year's Six Nations.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's the thing. So, I don't know. We are definitely going into this game cold. My only hope is that Andy Farrell's going to turn things around because obviously they played together in the Lions mostly. Like the majority of that Lions team was Ireland, but yeah, no, especially with Leinster being on bad form, and I think one of the big reasons Leinster lost that game against Munster was that, that was their first game together of the season. Literally, they hadn't played yet. So I'm hoping that was kind of a wake up call for them, a bit of a warm up,
Yeah, well, now it's under new coaching, and it's a week. You've been together a week.
Tiernan,
that's the thing.
What sort of team lineup would you want to see Andy Farrell put out?
As much Munster players as possible.
I want to see Jack Crowley at 10, definitely, but other than that, just at standard. Maybe have Ken Lars coming off the bench because he hasn't played in a while. Yeah, I think as close to the Lions setup as possible, I think. But then obviously Hugo Keenan's gone. Who else?
So who would be your fullback? Osborne?
Probably Osborne, yeah.
No,
he's good at fullback, yeah, and he's versatile as well. So I'm not really worried there. Like, look, you threw Osborne into fullback against South Africa there last year, a position he never played for, and he still performed really well in both games. So
is Hansen fit?
Hansen is, yeah.
So is he? He's recovered from that Connacht knock.
Oh, he might be. He's with the squad anyway, but if he's injured, you could have Jimmy O'Brien there. So yeah, like Ireland are definitely missing a couple guys. They're having a few guys come back from injury. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too hopeful, to be honest, but at the same time, I back the boys. I'm still gonna say we go win the game, but it will be close, and I think it will take us at least a few minutes to get going.
It's a massive redemption game for the likes of Jack Crowley, because this was kind of the game last season that made him lose his spot. Do you guys remember he had an absolute stinker against the All Blacks, and the criticism just kind of took over, and that's where everyone started calling for. Was it Jack Crowley? No, it was Frawley,
Jack Crowley wasn't great, and then Frawley got the big criticism and kind of. Yeah. I don't think he played himself at jersey with the media scrutinising him, but Jack Crowley wasn't great either. That's kind of where we started saying, maybe give Prendergast a go, and Prendergast is pretty good then.
Well, where do you find the balance? You obviously know the Leinster guys, the talent that's there, but wouldn't you say it would be better to kind of reward the guys that have had a bit more game time, the guys that play for play 4 months, and especially Ulster, I would actually say, like Ulster, they've been unreal. Would it surprise you to see like a Jacob Stockdale there, who I think has been the Irish best player at the moment, like even the last 2 seasons? He's been unreal every time that he goes onto the field.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Stockdale, he's had this before where he's been pretty good in the club season and he goes into Ireland jersey, he's just not the same. And I think at the same time, yes, it's smart to pick foreign players, but they're foreign players with zero Ireland squad experience. Like Tom Farrell, like it's a big talking point about him. He's Munster's outside centre. He's been fantastic the last year, but he's 32 years old, never played for Ireland before. And you have to like ask, is the All Blacks a good time to introduce a player like that? Because yeah, I think what they're going to do is they're going to go with the proven players. They're going to hope that they've had a bit of a warm up with that Leinster Munster game, and yeah, just kind of don't know, pray because yeah.
Jake, for the All Blacks, what's the expectation of this game? What could be the possible team that we might even see with the All Blacks?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be too different from the last team they put out against Australia. I'm not completely aware of what injuries they now have, but I think the All Blacks should be favourites here. I mean, as I said,
Turika Ioane or not Turika Ioane?
I feel like Razor, the whole rugby championship has not been playing Ioane, at least in the centres. I think he'll stick with Barrett and Tupaya. Just get Barrett and Ioane there, though, just for the Leinster factor. But no, I don't know. I think he'll go Barrett and Tupaya with maybe Leroy Carter and Ioane on the wings. Will Jordan fall back? But
they could still go with Billy Proctor, right? Or they could go with Lester Fanganuku.
Yeah. So they've got lots of options, the All Blacks. I think it's going to be... Well, first of all, I want to say I think they're the favourites and they've been playing since July. So, of course, they've always got an advantage like every Southern Hemisphere team. But I think it also puts all the pressure on them, right? Because I think if Ireland lose, Farrell can just say, it's my first game back, hangover from the Lions. Whereas All Blacks don't really have any excuses. They're coming in pretty hot. They've won the last 2 games against Australia, who it was a decent team they put out. So I think the All Blacks are favourites, but the pressure's on them. I think the sort of the breakdown's going to be crucial. That's where Ireland, they love that. Tyke Burns, probably the most important player on the pitch because he loves the jackal and he's also got to secure the line out. The All Blacks are quite good at disrupting line out. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Okay, just a final one on this game. If there's a scuffle... And it's close to Rico Ioane, does he get involved? Secondly, if it's a wild game and Rico really got involved, does he shake hands afterwards knowing that he has to play with those guys?
That's the thing. He's whatever happens, he's stuck with the Leinster guards for the rest of the year. I think it's really important for him, right? If he wants to play games for the next year, that he's not a dickhead to the Irish team again. Like I don't know. See, the thing is, Rico Ioane, when he gets Leinster, is going to be 3rd or 4th choice centre, or I mean, he might play in the wing, but centres he's not getting in there. So I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely has to show a lot of respect to the Ireland lads at the moment in this game because they're teammates soon. So I'm expecting Pete less.
I reckon it doesn't matter how much shit he gives you guys, you'll just love him anyway when he comes to when he comes to this.
I was skeptical about Jordy Barr because he knocked out the World Cup basically, but like Rico Ioane has been the biggest hater of Irish rugby in the world.
Tinan, do you know if Rico Ioane is going back on the plane with the All Blacks or Ireland after the game?
Sure, they're still playing. All Blacks still playing, aren't they? So it probably won't be just yet, but they'll be here in December.
It would be the biggest it would be the biggest piss take if Rico Ioane only plays this game and then they don't select him for the rest just because of the banter. Imagine the scenes. Okay,
I want to see Johnny Sexton and Peter Romani on the sidelines as the All Blacks win, and then just Ioane go up to him with the trophy.
Okay, let's do official predictions. Tiernan, what are you going for in that one?
Ireland by 5. Yep.
Okay, Jake.
New Zealand by 10.
I was harsh with Ireland, but I think they get it done by 3 points. I think Ireland actually get it done. I don't know. I just get the feeling. It's one of those things.
Fair enough.
The All Blacks have beaten them the last 2 times. Is it like if you want to stay up there with the best in the world, you have to beat the All Blacks elite sometimes.
A tip in
2022.
Can I ask you, because a lot of other people talk about rugby are saying that either the Irish squad is ageing and might be starting to go into decline. What do you think about that?
Okay, so a lot of these are coming from fans of the Unk box, I like to call them. What's it called? Ellis Park. Well, it's Ellis Park Nursing Home at the moment. So yeah, I won't be having that from these guys. And I don't agree with that because the players you talk about in their own team a lot, the likes of Jack Crowley, Prendergast, Jamie Osborne. Like there's so many young players coming through. Don Sheehan's like 25, our best player, probably one of the best hookers in the world. So yeah, there's young players there. People just look at the likes of Tyke Byrne, the aging players that are like, yeah. So I don't know. It's a bit stupid. I think they're a team that's definitely still maybe not in their prime, a lot of them, but a lot of them are late.
You see, Tiernan said the Unk box just for banter purposes because he knows we're not an old team. Oxenshire is very young. Malcolm Marks
You're
maybe
an
a bit on the older
extremely
side.
old team. I'm sorry. Like, it's one of the oldest teams in the world. Eben Etzebeth, Sia Khaleesi, who else? Your
That's
centre
two.
pairing. Your fullback. You're young, like
Damien Dialenda and Kanan Moody, who's literally like 23.
I'm sorry, I
Damien
think
Dialenda is like Damien
Yeah.
Dialenda is what, like
Okay, so
32?
fine. But we can replace Damien Dialenda with Andre Istreisen, who's like 28.
both your squads are in the old people's home. I'd say same WhatsApp group, but they're too old to use WhatsApp. They're same envelope group, so just
No, that's not true.
Please save us,
That's not
Owen
true.
Farrell. Please save us.
We can play a very old team, but we are stacked with youngsters. Stacked. Like we'll be fine.
I think it's more youngsters coming through for South Africa than Ireland.
At least we're not that blessed, right, to have won the under-21 World Cup where we know we have talent coming through. Like this is just for a generation, right?
We also did that same WhatsApp group.
We got the final and knocked South Africa out twice. So yeah.
Yeah, well, who won the recent one? Thank you. Anyway, no. To be fair, I just get the sneaky feeling that Ireland will do it. Yes, they do on paper have a bit of an aging squad, and the fact that we haven't seen as many young guys just coming through the door makes you kind of just think about it a bit more. But I'm not debating that there's no youngsters coming through. Right, like each to its own in terms of how the coaches get the young guys through the door. So anyway, Box versus Japan. There's really not too much to say about it. Like Eddie Jones, obviously, he came out and he said this Japan team is a lot better than the 2015 Japan team. Acting like this South African team is not way better than the 2015 South African team. From your guys' perspective, looking at the team that we also announced, is there a slight worry that Japan could pull off an upset, or we just like kind of South Africa should be way too strong to get this to kind of get stuck here?
I saw a video of some guy earlier saying like, "Oh, I can't believe the Springboks have done this to Japan," and I'm thinking like, you underestimate a team like Japan, which because obviously the Springboks have much bigger games coming up. They're probably going to overlook this game. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 2018 scoreline. South Africa just barely win. But then again, I just haven't seen anything in this Japan team since 2019 World Cup pretty much.
Well, if you look at the team, do you really feel like we're overlooking this Japan team?
Not really. You still have a lot of big names in there. So,
I mean, Oxenshire, Malcolm Marks, Zachary Porton, he's making his debut at 20 years old. You still got who's our locks? Goodness gracious. Is it Eben Etzebeth and Argis Snyman?
Snyman
and Lude Jager, right?
Lude Jager.
It's not a B team by any means, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Siakulisi, Jasper Wiese, Franco Mostert, Kobus Reinach, Sasha, Damian Dialenda, JC Creel. And then you've got Ethan Hooker, the youngster. Kurtley Orange are coming back. And you've got Cheslin Colby. I mean, this is not an overlooking Japan team at all.
No.
There's a lot of our guys that play in Japan, right? But this is one of our strongest teams. Yes, there's some changes, but it's not a crazy rotated team where it feels like I'm watching a Barbarians team. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah. Really.
Yeah. They're going to annihilate them. There could be 70 points differential here. I think that's needs to be said.
I think that's the biggest points difference ever caught on camera, where Tiernan says we're winning by 2 points and you saying we're winning by 70 points. That is crazy. I'll meet you guys in the middle and say the Box by 40. And I'm not saying this as like a cocky type thing. Japan is just that one team. Like they've got flair and stuff, but they just they especially them can't match physically. I'm sorry, it just won't happen in that way. I can see us scoring 5 more tries. It's just the way that the Springboks play. It's a bad matchup for Japan.
Definitely.
I would like to lower my gap to 50 points, actually. I'm being harsh on Japan.
I raised mine to about 15, but I think they're just not going to take this game as seriously as some other teams.
Well, Tiernan, you've just 7x'd your scoreline from 2 points to 15. 7x. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there's not really too much to say about it. Like, obviously, I do expect Japan to be up for the game. They might be like in the game for, let's say, 30 minutes or something. But I just think with the quality that the Springboks have, it will at some point will run riot. You can obviously say, okay, there might be a bit of a chemistry lapse when you look at the back three, Colby at 15 or something like that. But then in the same breath, I'm like, the quality there should be more than enough to just get over the line. And I'm really excited to see Sasha just doing his job at 10. Now you can all see it on the world display. Anyway, Scotland, USA.
So exciting.
Are you finally going to back Scotland to get a win, Jack?
No. Well, I say it's nice that they're doing, giving a lot of attention to 2 tier 2 countries here. I think Scotland, they might just sneak a win. They're missing some of their main players, like Hugh Jones injured, Finn Russell won't get released. A lot of players playing in a top 14 in England won't be released, but they should just still have enough to scrape past the US.
Where are they playing? Murrayfield.
Can they take it sell?
Yeah, the home field advantage should be enough. Just about.
Enough.
If they were playing anywhere neutral, let alone USA, loss. Easy win for USA.
Done. Yeah, Tanzo. Forfeit. No, that'll smoke them. But it's good for USA to kind of get these type of games.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think a lot of credit. I was going to say a lot of credit should go to Scotland because they've played a lot of tier 2 countries, which is their level. But I mean, fair play for going out and doing it.
I think they're hiding the fact that it's their level by saying that we're growing the game of rugby. Like, no, they're just trying to get some wins.
The thing is, though, they do need to actually play some half decent teams if they want to get.
Well, they're playing New Zealand. They're playing New Zealand to kind of extend New Zealand's record. So. Now, listen, that game's going to be very exciting, by the way. Because that just feels like a good matchup. I like the way that Scotland plays. Scotland is the team in the Six Nations that play the most exciting rugby, in my opinion, in terms of getting their backline going and stuff. When they get it right. It looks very good. That's why they always win the Calcutta Cup against the other tier 2 nation. But, Anyway, just a final talking point before we round it off. Did you guys see the Barbarians team? Barbarians, but it's 17 of the 23-man squad is South Africans.
Who are the Barbarians playing?
They're playing the All Blacks 15.
Oh, yeah. Haven't seen it.
No, I'll back the boys, right? So Tiernan, this is the team. In the 1, 2, 3, we've got Ollie Kebble, who's born in Durban, right? But he plays for Glasgow and represents Scotland. Bongi Manambi goes into that 2 jersey, and Asanati and Klabakanye in that 3 jersey. Obviously, Springbok recently debuted. Adams van Ryn and Ruben van Heerden, URC players, obviously the ones in the Prem now. Hanru Liebenberg, who Jake literally just said off camera, is a quality player.
Yeah.
He enjoys watching him for Leicester Tigers. Also, captain for Leicester Tigers, captain for the Barbarians. Fitz Harding, not going to lie, I'm not too sure.
Great player.
Evan Roos plays in that 8 jersey. Little stamp of authority that I can put on this game. Roger Williams, Rob Dupree, who's been literally a few years ago when we still had Andre Pollard and Alton Yankees, people were calling for Rob Dupree to take the 10 jersey for the Boks. He's always been great for Sale as well. If it wasn't for Ford, he'd be playing 10 for Sale, right?
Yeah, well, there was a season where Ford got injured and he played 10 really well all year, really. So, yeah, good player.
Yeah. Bernard Jansen van Rensburg obviously plays for Bristol Bears. He had an interview and he said he still dreams of playing for the Boks. It's just unfortunate. He's a quality player. Like I've seen him play before, and he's kind of that unlucky guy, the same as Dan du Plessis, who's on the bench, where you're kind of stuck behind Damien de Allende and Andre Esterhuizen. Like when those are the two guys above you, you're not really expecting to play any games. Matthias Moroni, 13. Leland Zas, Werner Kok. That's a good wing pairing. And then Max Malin's on at 15. How's Max's form been?
Shy. He's not playing very well for Saracens, but
so since he's not playing for England anymore, he's just started stinking it out.
Yeah, he was injured all last year, to be fair to him. But you've got a Bristol centre partnership there and a flanker, so a few Bristol players. It's a good team, isn't it?
Yeah, even the bench: Andre Hufente, Ali Vermaak, Jack Ungia, whoever that is. I'm not sure who that is. Kobus Wiese, who recently made his debut for the Springboks, also there. Batu Glekane from the under-21s or from the under-20s that won the World Cup. Absolute monster of a guy. Brad Weber, Dan du Plessis, and Reino Smith, who I'm expecting to play for Italy soon. Obviously, comes from Free State. Sensational. If you watch Benetton, this guy runs the show. Streets won't forget player. One day.
Who do you think will win this game then?
I'm really hoping the Barbars win the game. As Tiernan says, it's the ultimate pub team.
Oh, great! I love the Barbarians. Yeah, if they actually trained a bit and didn't just go on the beer all week, so they do a bit better.
Yeah. Anyway, that wraps it up, people. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Go show Tiernan some love on TikTok and Instagram. He's running the page Off the Tee. He's using the graphics there. Show him some love and support there. And then, as always, show Jake some love and support there as well on his TikTok and YouTube. Tiernan, what did you want to say?
I post on that about once every 2 weeks, but go follow my TikTok.
No, but you've been more active recently.
Not really.
I've seen.
I'll try that. Well,
anyway, everyone, have a good one. We'll see you next time. Ciao.